Welcome to Metals, Money, and Markets. We're October 19th. For MiningClips.com, I'm Rob Goodman. And as always, Mickey Fulp, the Mercenary Geologist, will run us through this. Okay, Mickey, quite a bit of info here. Let's get right at here. Believe it or not, an up dollar again, and gold had a pretty good rally into it 3 weeks in a row.
Well, it's no wonder that gold's got an up rally. Number one, the dollar was weaker, but we've been talking about there's been this real heavy record net short positions, and when gold goes up, people are under a short squeeze. So I actually think there's more to come, and we've also coming into the seasonal high demand for gold with the Indian festival season. So that said, gold was up $9 to 12.26. It's holding at this mid 12.25 range, but the other precious metals did not participate. Silver was up a penny to 14.60. Platinum lost $7 to close at 8.30. Palladium continues to buck the other trends, up 10 of the last 11 weeks to close at 10.73 per 1% gain.
And pulling up the rear here, copper had a pretty bad week as well.
Well, copper actually had a good week till yesterday when Larry Kudlow came along and said China is not negotiating on trade tariffs, and that knocked the entire base metal complex down. Copper lost 5 cents yesterday. It gained a couple of pennies a day. It closed at 281, down a nickel on the week. For those interested, I put out a Mercenary Musing last Monday. It's now open to the public on very positive outlook for not only the medium and long-term copper projections, but for me, short-term too. And it has a lot to do with a short squeeze coming in copper, much like we've seen for gold developing. So that said, copper remains in 10-month backwardation.
And turning our attention over to the energy markets here, oil another bad week here amongst a little controversy in Saudi Arabia, huh?
Well, yeah, who knows how that geopolitical event's going to play out. I'm not sure that's really what weighed on the oil markets. The oil market did close at somewhere between a 4 and 5 week low, closed at 69.26, down over 3% on the week. WTI went below its 100-day moving average yesterday and remains below that today. OPEC production, though, is stagnating. They can't seem to come up with enough production for what they're losing from Iran and Venezuela. One thing of note is the Brent to WTI arbitrage is now at 15%. We haven't seen that in quite some time. Market probably got knocked down this week a bit by inventories at plus 6 million barrels. Rigs up 4, although U.S. production was down to 10.9 million barrels. That's 300,000 barrels off of what the EIA said was produced last week. We'll see how those numbers play out when we get real ones in a month. And finally, uranium closed flat. It's been in the 27.50 range for 6 weeks in a row now. It closed at 27.68, up a dime on the week.
And the dollar, a little strength here this week.
Yeah, the dollar was positive. I think that really came by the fact that other currencies were weaker, although interest rates have settled in at about 3.2%. That's bullish for the dollar. Dollar closed up a bit, up a half a point to 95.71. Euro down about the same amount to $1.15. Loonie down 0.5% to 76.3. A lot of this maybe has to do with a weaker Chinese economy. They're knocking down the yuan, trying to knock its value down. Their weaker economic numbers, if anybody puts a lot of stock in what they say, GDP at 6.5% annualized in the third quarter. Get this, Rob, that's a 10-year low. But if those numbers are correct, that's still phenomenal growth and unsustainable for that matter.
And wrapping up with the equities markets here, quite a battle with, I think, Trump and the Fed. But Kudlow, like you said, took some headlines. But up and down markets, but the Dow managed to at least stay in the positive. NASDAQ was a loser.
Yeah, I don't know how to. I don't see that there was any major economic news that accounted for the volatile, choppy, and even messy week that we saw on Wall Street. Just up and down, willy nilly all week long. Something the Dow moving 300 to 400 points a day intraday, and who knows where it was going to finish in any day. Dow closed at 25,444, up 0.4% on the week. S&P 500 gained 2 points, basically flat at 2769. Nasdaq continues to lose. It's now approaching correction territory from its high way back in late August, early September. Closed at 74.50, down 0.6% on the week. Meanwhile, the VIX plus or minus 20, so volatility remains relatively high. Probably one of the things we should look at closely or be concerned with is the Dow Transports and the Russell 2000, the small business index. Both went below their 200-day moving averages this week.
And we're wrapping up north of the border. Things are going south. Another bad week for the venture.
Yeah, the ventures lost something on the order of 6% over the last month. It closed at 682. We haven't seen, once again, this range since the middle of the summer doldrums, down 2.4% on the week on higher volumes. And this is despite a positive gold price all week. This index has gone below its 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages now. And with tax loss season kicking in, I'm looking for some sort of capitulation to come along in this market. Unless we get a boisterously rising gold price, and there's reason to think that might happen, but tax loss selling could see another capitulation on this index.
Okay, Mickey, appreciate the insight as always. We'll check in with you next week. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, thanks a lot, Rob.